Right, so I just wanted to show you this weird little thing I've made. I thought I'd have a go at this last night. I don't know why this didn't come to me before, but it's basically a figure 4 made out of wire. Once I've set it up, you'll see it a bit better. I just thought I'd give it a go, and this is just galvanised fencing wire, so it's not particularly strong, but it will hold a weight. I think if you was going to make one for survival uses or actually using, or especially if you want to make a bigger one, I think if you used thicker wire, maybe, strengthened wire, not just weak wire, then I reckon this would definitely work. So I'll set it up, and then I'll put it down, and I'll give you a better kind of look at it, how the loops are and everything. You might be able to make one. So the only thing is, one part has got this bent part, and that's for the bottom. And then you've got 2 loops on that part. This next one has got a straight bit, a loop, comes round to another loop. And this one, pretty much the same as the second one, but the loops are in slightly different places. A loop, comes down straight, a loop, then comes down straight again. That's all it was. The funny thing is one of those traps, it needs a lot of weight, or quite a heavy weight, to keep it in place. Because I tried this with a light box and it won't hold. It has to be a fairly heavy weight just to make it hold in the first place, which is a good thing, because then it can hold a heavy weight, because it has to hold a heavy weight for this part not to just drop down, if you know what I mean. So obviously the weight is pushing onto this one. That is then pulling, because that wants to flip up at the back, that's pulling this one tight. And that's how they work. There's a slightly better close up, you can see it. So it comes down to a loop, another loop. That one's just a loop there, and that's pressing against the loop of the upright one. That loop is connected to that one. Top 2 are connected there, and the middle 2 loops on this bottom one are the 2 kind of just bind together to stop it flipping out. And obviously the bottom one is just to stop it digging in the ground, if you know what I mean. But you could just put it on a stone or a stick or something, a bit of wood, flat piece of wood. So obviously, like normal, bait goes on the end of there, or however you wanted to do it. And when the animal touches that, down it comes. So I'm hoping you can see this clear enough. I think you can. So that one's your upright. Just comes up to a loop and a loop. That's your slanting one. Same thing, 2 loops. And then that's your trigger stick. Same thing, 2 loops. Now I can tell you the lengths of these, but as this is just the first one, it was just a try to see if it would work. I don't know if it's at any point you making this one. If you wanted to, I think it might get mice or rats, as long as the weight is heavy enough, or the box is heavy enough. So from here to here is about 2 inches, and about the same again. So the whole thing is about 4.5 inches. This one, it's to the end of the loop, 2 inches. This gap is 2 inches, and then a 1/2 inch loop again. And this one is loop is about, this loop is about 2.5 inches, and then the next loop, the point, no, it's 4 inches there. And overall they are, that's just under 4.5, just 4.5, and a 4.5. Funny enough, I didn't actually measure those, so I didn't actually know that was going to be that size. But you can see, you know, see what it is. It looks like nothing when it's like that. Relatively easy to make as long as you can bend metal alright, which bending metal can be way harder than you think, especially getting loops right and at measurements. Well, I find it quite hard because all I've got is just an ordinary vice, and I was just holding a drill bit between them to try and bend them, and this is light, you know, easily bendable stuff. Right, I'll set it up again and show you again. It's not too bad for setting, it's actually quite easy. That one has to be not on top, because it won't sit like that. So it has to be underneath, you know, at the bottom of the loop, if that makes sense. So hanging underneath, bottom of the loop. That one just hooks on there. As long as you can hold it like that, then you can set it relatively easily. And as you can see, it flips away perfectly, flips right out the way, you know, so you don't get damaged. The only thing you've got to watch though on these types of traps, in my opinion, is if they're one piece like this. I'll show you. If they're one piece, if you make the trigger stick really, really long, what can happen is when the trigger stick is knocked, it can come down and just hit the floor and then just get hung up, and that's it. So you've got to get that bit right. You could always have a long one, try it, see what happens. If it doesn't, then fine. If it does, snip a bit off, try it again, and then keep going like that until the trap will just, you know, go off properly. Now for me, that's a perfect kind of deadfall. I like a figure 4 that goes off best when it is pressed down, not sidewards. I like ones that go off when pressed down. The only thing is with those, they always need quite a lot of weight on them to keep them in place, because there's nothing, obviously there's nothing underneath it, and it is all on this one wanting to flip up what holds that one in place. So they seem to go off pretty good. I'm going to go off at a natural kind of position rather than sideways. Right, anyway, so that is a little idea I had of a figure 4, wire figure 4. Actually, I will tell you one thing before I go. I'll measure how high this sits, just so you know how high a little small one like this sits. So when it's set, it sits 5 inches high. So, and also obviously you can bend, because that's why you can bend that down, bend it up, you know, put a loop in the end of it, whatever. But that's 5 inches high. I think you could definitely use that and that size, as long as the weight is heavy enough or the box is good enough. I reckon you could definitely use that for catching rats, mice, if they're heavy enough to set it off. But rats, maybe squirrels, but I haven't tried the weight yet of what might get a squirrel. You need a fair bit of weight, or like I said, you know, a good enough box, and then you ain't got to worry so much about the weight. and then that would definitely work for, say, squirrels, rats, mice, even birds. You know, you could bend that round into a big loop, so a bird, you know, sits on it like a perch or whatever. There's definitely you know, an idea what you could use and would be viable, I reckon. Right, anyway, here's for watching. Oh, hold on, I'll set it off one more time. Cheers for watching. I'll see you later.